Hello everyone. I've created this PowerPoint in this video to explain your applied learning experience or your ALE. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Well, if it'll let me turn the screen. There we go. Applied learning experiences, what they are, I'm going to go ahead and just read the definition, are academic and non-academic transformative learning experiences designed to engage students in active and reflective learning to further develop beyond disciplinary skills and expand students' perspectives of the self, community, and global environments. You are completing specifically a service learning applied learning experience, okay? So I'll explain a little bit more. So for service learning, there's certain things that have to happen. The project is either independently or part of a course. This one's part of a course. Your projects can be pursued individually or part of a group. You're going to complete it individually. You're going to have reflections on your service that you're doing. Those will be part of the course content that you'll complete. This is our orientation where we're talking about it. Also, when you go to your placement where you're going to do a portion of your hours, you might have orientation completed there. There's a minimum of 20 hours that you have to complete, and you cannot receive any type of money for this service. It has to be volunteer, and I'll explain a little bit more about that also. So the purpose of this, again, is for you to be able to take the course content to apply it in different ways, and you're really going to interact in hands-on learning experiences. A portion of it will be very specific. You'll have assignments tied to that where I'm telling you what you're going to be looking for, what you're going to be doing, and different ways for you to apply this information. And a portion of your hours will also include things that you will be in charge of and deciding on. So there's two ways that you can complete this. You have to get the 20 hours. So 12 hours have to be in a licensed program where you're working with children that are 5 years and under. These children cannot have started kindergarten. There's very specific information on this within the course content, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. The other 8 hours can be completed in the same location where you're doing your 12 hours, or it can be in another location that somehow works with families and children. So for instance, in the past, I've had students do additional volunteer hours at a hospital setting, at a pediatric setting. Somebody else did it at a foster care setting. People have done it in their church programs, that kind of thing. So 12 hours are in a licensed program, and then the other 8 hours are in another setting where you can also apply some of this information you've learned. So again, all the hours have to be volunteer. You can complete these at your work location, but you cannot be paid. So let's say you normally work 8 to 2, then you can do your service learning hours from 2 to 5 because you're not being paid for that. For the 12 hours that are focused on you doing specific assignments, which is really focused on children within the classroom, those cannot be in the same classroom where you normally work, but it can be in another classroom. Those 8 hours, though, that the additional 8 you have to get to equal the 20, those can be done in your normal work environment, so in a classroom where you normally work. But again, you still cannot be paid for it. If you're enrolled in another course that requires any kind of hours, field experience, or service hours, you can't double dip. So this course requires 20 hours. If you're in another course that requires 16 hours, you have a total of 36 to get done this semester. It's not that you can do 20 and you're counting 20 for me and 16 for the other course. They add up, so you would have 36 hours in that example. But you can use the same location as long as the locations meet the requirements for both my course and whatever other course you're also taking. So here's an example of the different placements. Like I said, you have 20 hours that have to be completed. So your first 12 hours could be focused on a specific child in the course assignments, which are already listed in Canvas. And then your other 8 hours can be focused on extending the course learning. For example, improving services for the families by locating resources, talking to the staff about the general family needs. In the previous semesters, I had students gather information that could then be given to the parents. They collected some free pamphlets that were given to parents within the program on reading and then health needs within the community. So you can use this time still focused in that one location, but you decide what those 8 hours are going to be focused on. Another thing that's really key to remember is that the 12 hours that are focused on a child and you observing that child's development are done in the actual program. You're interacting with the children, you are physically on location. Those other 8 hours, some of those can be done at your home. So, looking up all these resources, gathering it all together, collecting it and putting it in a file, that doesn't have to be done when you're sitting in that classroom with those young children. That can be done at home, but it's still volunteer hours that are focused and that are for the purpose of this program. Okay? Another example is if when you split your total 20 hours between two programs. So again, you have the 12 hours focused on the child in the specific course assignments. And then your other 8 hours are volunteered and are completed somewhere completely different. For instance, in an elementary school, a church program with WIC, doctor's office, and so I kind of mentioned that before. And again, the service that you're providing to them could be, again, being a volunteer there, helping them with their program, helping them reorganize stuff, helping them gather things. It's really going to depend on that location. You will have course assignments where I ask you to reflect on, how's everything going in your location, your licensed program where you're observing children. But then I'm also asking you, what are you thinking you want to do for those other 8 hours? So don't feel like, oh man, I got to figure this out right here in week 1. That's not the case. I will have some assignments asking you to kind of think about it. I'll send out some information of some possible service activities you can do for those other 8 hours that still ties to this course content, helps you look at child development, working with families globally, not just within the community where you live, and also kind of looking at things from new perspectives based on this current coursework and coursework you've taken in other classes also. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to email me. I will send out mass emails or an announcement to people if I see that some of the same questions are being asked. I always will give feedback if you ask a question within your course submissions also. So again, if you have any questions about the field experience hours or your total 20 hours that have to be completed, please let me know. We can talk in person, we can talk on the phone, we can email back and forth. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.